Well, we now have confirmation that Boris Johnson, in fact, did not lie, and he did have enough nomination signatures to become the next Prime Minister again, but Rishi Sunak took his place. In another unsurprising piece of news, we now have confirmation from the 1922 committee that the chair of 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady, who's had a bit of an ups and downs relationship with Boris Johnson himself, so he's not really biased towards Boris as a party leader or prime minister, is now come out to confirm that Boris Johnson, in fact, did have a lot of nominations and signatures from the members of parliament. He had enough support to go through the next stage, and as we obviously know, he also had the majority of the Tory party members behind him, so he could have easily become Prime Minister and party leader once again. Yet somehow, last minute, that morning, well, the night before the nominations closed, he decided to withdraw, and we know exactly what happened now, because speaking to so many MPs, they went to him from Team Rishi's side and the other sides, basically saying, it's probably not a good idea. You're probably not going to have enough support. And if you don't have the command of your own party in the House of Commons, then you can't be a party leader. But there was no guarantee, because, of course, we had so many who also were nominating Penny Mordaunt. They did not really come out to publicly back Rishi Sunak. A number of them did, but not all of them by the time she withdrew from the race as well. So there was no guarantee that Boris would have completely failed. And I'm not really, obviously, pro-Boris. I'm not pro-Rishi. I'm not pro-Penny or Liz Truss. I'm just sitting here judging all of them for being absolutely idiotic over the way they've been handling the leadership of the Conservative Party. And now we have a situation where even Graham Brady said, well, things changed very, very quickly. You know, he had to deal with three prime ministers, three party leaders who resigned, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, and now Liz Truss. And he actually said something interesting during this interview with the BBC. He said when he had to deal with Liz Truss, that last final conversation, apparently that was a lot easier than Boris Johnson and even Theresa May.
Reaching for my phone when I got a message saying that the Prime Minister had asked to see me. So when I went in to see her with her Chief of Staff, Mark Fulbrook, she asked me the question. She said, it's pretty bad, isn't it? To which I replied, yes, it is pretty bad. And she asked the second question, do you think it's retrievable? And I said, no, I don't think it is. And she replied that she didn't either. So it was a...
Yeah, so that's what happened with Liz Truss. And this whole thing, when you put them all together, the situation with Boris, the situation with Liz Truss, and now Rishi Sunak, who doesn't really have the backing of the members. We've had so many Tory party members cancelling their membership, defecting to Reform UK, for example, under Richard Tice. And we also have Nigel Farage indicating that he could come back to frontline politics to destroy this uncertainty caused by the Tories and the Labour Party and the whole cabal of the Westminster establishment. It tells you a lot, because it's not really about Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is not the alternative option for freedom fighters. It's simply about punishing the Tories. It's simply about people saying, well, I really can't vote Conservative now. I don't really want to vote Keir Starmer either. So I'm either going to abstain, or I'm going to go with one of the smaller parties just to send a message. But it's time for smaller parties to stop being the send a message party. One of them, at least, to become the third party, needs to get together, get their act together and sort out some sort of plan. And I believe that Reform UK and Richard Tice do have the intention to do that. We already covered this a couple of days ago on the channel, that Richard Tice has been speaking to some Conservative councillors and members for over defection, potentially. You can't really just be a party of protest, because it makes absolutely no sense. Right now, you need an alternative option for a lot of people. And this could also become a wake-up call for the Conservatives. You know, right now, there are so many changes happening inside the Tory party, which we are going to talk about on the channel later today as well, because some changes are definitely coming. We don't know if it's going to be for the better or for the worse, but we're going to keep you guys posted. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in half an hour. We're going to tell you about that BBC presenter, that biased BBC presenter who was suspended. She's back now. Yes, subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.